everybody. Very happy to see everybody again. Miss you guys. Sorry I've been away for a little bit. The meetings at lunchtime, and I don't want to keep a regular schedule on the channel, so I just prefer to skip a day than to be streaming at whatever time. Okay, so the topic for today is how do you write a lot when you actually hate writing? And I have to tell you that it is okay to hate writing. Writing is hard, it's difficult, and even people that are super successful at writing hate writing. Okay, so you think about this. So, for example, in fiction, there's this idea of you write 1,000 words a day, right? So why do you think you write 1,000 words a day, or you write 3 hours every day? Basically, the reason is that you can then stop writing, right? If every writer loved writing, you don't have to set targets, right? Because you just keep on and on and on. But this way, you make sure that you do at least 3 hours or 1,000 words or so on. And I really love this. This it's a little bit memey, but it's true. It's a documentary by a movie writer called Miyazaki, who's very famous. You probably heard of him or seen some of his movies. Spirited Away is one of my favorite, but there are a lot. And this is somebody who's super successful, who has written really, really amazing animation movies. And there was a recent documentary made on him, and I just want to share these frames. And this is him writing, right? He stares blank and despairs and goes and make a cup of coffee. And then in this dialogue he says, well, why don't you just quit writing? And he just says, I'll just say, shut up. Again, despair, gets up and says, okay, I'm done for the day. And he's basically only written one page in the entire day. So, even when you do amazing things, you're super successful, and you have written all your life, you can still hate writing. That happens. And I'll tell you, I also hate writing, and by hate writing is I hate writing what goes in the paper. So, if you've seen Scrivener, okay, so this is the paper I'm working on now, right? So you see that all of this is blank, right? The introduction and so on, theory and whatever. Look at how much I've written in notes and outlines for the theory section, for example, okay? How much I've written here for the introduction, where there's the framing of the paper. So, so when you hear people saying, I hate writing, it is, they hate writing the final version. They hate writing the paper or the book, for example. And what they enjoy are the things around writing, right? And different people will enjoy different things. So what I want to do today is share with you my 3 different techniques to write a lot when you hate writing. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so 3 things that you can do. Starting with the most popular one that I heard most people talk about, which is push a really bad first draft. Just get the paper written. It's bad. Just write it with super long sentences, awkward paragraphs. Just write it, okay? And there's a sentence that I remember reading multiple times. It says, there's no such thing as a bad first draft, because the purpose of a first draft is to exist, okay? And to exist for what? For editing it later, okay? So that's the point. So people that use this technique, basically what they the way what they like to do, let's say, is to edit. They like to look at the paper and improve it, change it around, reverse outline it, rethink some parts, and work on the writing. Okay. Now, the two of the most talented writers I've met personally in management, they both use this strategy, and they both told this to me personally. So the first one is John Van Manen. John Van Manen is a beautiful writer. He writes amazingly well. I mean, if you haven't read his stuff, read it. It's really amazing writing quality. And John told me that he really hates writing. So what he does is, this technique, he pushes the first draft painful. He used this word when he described it to me. And then he spends a lot of time editing it. Carl Weick also told me that he really pushes through the first draft as well. And he told me normally he spends 5/6 of a paper. So he was telling me about one paper that it took him a month to write the first draft and then 5 months to edit it. Okay? And obviously, both of these people write beautifully, so they also spend a lot of time on the writing, on the choice of words and sentences and so on. Okay, so maybe you like that. So see what part, when you write your thesis and so on, see what parts of it do you like. Do you like the editing more than the writing? So just I know it's painful, just sit down and push through a bad draft. Again, the idea, every first draft is good because the only thing that a first draft has to do is to exist so that it can be edited. Okay, so that's one technique. That's not the one I use. I like editing, but I find that I'm less flexible with my thoughts and ideas when I edit. I also feel that it just takes me much longer to write a paper if I follow this process than if I follow the process that I actually follow. And the process that I actually follow, if you've seen the channel, you've seen me following this process, is overloading on writing prep. Okay? So I do reading, I do reading notes, I do paper outlines, I do section outlines. So right now that's what I'm doing. I'm doing the outlines for this section. I'll probably draft, but for me it's not even drafting. It's just draft 0, not even first draft, and draft 0 only exists so I can reverse outline it, and then I write draft 1 after. So I used to hate outlining, but I learned it, and now I enjoy it more, and I also think it's way faster than having to rewrite everything 2 or 3 times. So that's what I do. So what I do is I overload the preparation of the paper. I do a lot of outline, and I also do something called rehearse writing. So because one of the reasons, perhaps the main reason why people hate writing, it's because they're insecure with their own writing. And yes, this happens with people that have been very successful in writing, like Miyazaki. So I also do this, and I told you about this in a previous video, that I'll do this on this section of my notes in Scrivener, and I'll write in a different font, so it's not actually writing the paper. I'm just rehearsing writing that part of the paper, and that deals away with at least my own insecurities. Okay, so basically, if you see, in the first strategy that I think is the most common strategy, that's what I read the most about. Yesterday, Hal Hafermas was discussing this on Twitter as well. Is, you basically, do writing fast first, and then most of your work is on editing. And the other strategy is most of your work is so after writing. That's the first technique. It's most of the work that you do is after writing the first draft. In my case, most of the work that I do is before writing the first draft. Okay, so I basically do a lot of work to have like the perfect detail outline, and then I'm almost copy pasting whatever I did the first draft. Okay, so those are the two techniques. So if you don't like the writing part, you either like what comes after writing, so that's the editing. So do the first draft super quick. The only reason a successful first draft is a finished first draft. So do it super quick and then spend your time on editing. Or if you're more like me, that you prefer the prep part of the writing, this is also a way of dealing with insecurity. It's preparing a lot, right? So you spend most of your time prepping, and so that when you're actually writing the first draft or the draft, you're almost like copy pasting from your outline. And so those are two techniques. Now there's a third technique that I've learned, which is that it's really about enjoy the mechanics of writing. So for some people, this is about like the keyboard that they use, the place where they write. So I used to, for my thesis, I used to go to the same coffee shop every day, and I really enjoyed writing there. While I was at MIT, I really loved writing in the like sub basement of the Harvard libraries. It was really nice, a really dark corner with a small lamp. So really try to find pleasures, not in the writing part of thinking about the words, but in the mechanics of writing, the keyboard. Maybe you enjoy writing longhand with a pen, the place, the software that you use, really pay attention to that can really help. Okay, so this is it. That's how you write a lot when you hate writing. You either write the first draft fast and then spend your time editing, or spend your time doing writing prep, outlining, and so on, and then you just write the first draft super quick. Okay, it is okay, it is normal, it is fine to hate writing, even if you, like myself, identify yourself as a writer. It is okay. Miyazaki hate it. Why don't you just quit? Shut up, let me write. An entire day, despairing, making tea. I've written only one page. Hemingway, write 1,000 words so I can go and then have a drink. Okay? That's it. It is okay. Find the method that you like and really find pleasure in the mechanics of writing. Okay? Best of luck for your writing, and if you have different techniques, how about just drop me a message on Twitter, or just on the comments to this video on YouTube. I really would enjoy knowing your techniques. So drop me a message. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. I haven't been posting like hugely, just because I had two weeks at work where I had a lot of meetings at lunchtime, because even if I'm busy, I always publish the videos, you can see. So check back, and I'll catch